Welcome, 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 everyone, and happy Thursday. It is noon Eastern time here on the East Coast in the booming metropolis just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a little place I like to call Ambler, PA. Thursday, noon Eastern time, Ambler, PA. You know what that means. It is time for Talent Experience Live, your weekly look into all things talent acquisition, talent management, recruiting, human resources as a whole, and so much more. Talent Experience Live is proudly brought to you by the good folks here at Phenom, whose purpose is to help 1 billion find the right work. That is why we host this fantastic program every single week, why we have another great podcast with Cliff Yerkowitz, a new episode dropping Monday, so look out for that, why we are at every single HR tech event under the sun, why we host our own fantastic HR tech event. I am Phenom. It was just a couple short weeks ago in Philadelphia. Hopefully you got a chance to attend. We'll be back in Europe this fall, and I know we'll do another one in India as well, coming up in December. But today we are going to talk a little bit about what was shown at I Am Phenom. However, before we get into that, I know I mentioned the events. I know that I mentioned the podcasts. That's not how we help 1 billion people find the right work. Sure, it's fun. It's entertaining. You enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. The real way that we help 1 billion find the right work is through our Applied Intelligent Talent Experience platform, which helps candidates find the right fit faster, employees evolve in their current roles and beyond. Recruiters achieve next level productivity and efficiency, and managers get to build better teams through data analytics and automation. So if any of that interests you at all, run, don't walk to phenom.com to learn more, where you will see a nice little promo at the top of the page for our HR Innovation Showcase coming up April the 22nd. I assure you, we will talk about voice agents there as well, so you won't want to miss that. Register it. But that does it for the bills today. We've paid them. Today we are talking about voice agent, a curated look at it, if you will. And there were 3 sessions at I Am Phenom that really dove deeply into this and into some of the different curated experiences that you can have and how it can help things out. So let's kick things off with a quick question for the audience at home. When a candidate walks into your hiring funnel or perhaps calls you, do you actually know what language they're comfortable speaking in? Sure, there's a few tips and tricks that you may find along the way. They may have a last name that you recognize or associate with a specific language. But you don't truly know, not the language that they use to fill out the form or anything in between. And that's because it's how human nature is. What voice agent can do is assist you in this process. Most screening processes don't ask what language the candidate is most comfortable in. They ask the question in English and just kind of hope for the best, which is what I do all the time. So what you are about to see is, I believe, the next step in overall human resources and talent acquisition. It is a voice agent that asks in the native tongue. And then it does something that honestly still surprises people every single time. It follows through. It says, what language do you speak? Let's have the conversation in that, which is super, super, super important, especially if you're working in a global economy like we are today. So without any further hesitation, let's jump into voice agent number 1.
I'm going to walk really slow because I took my phone case off.
Don't drop it.
This is a dangerous time for me.
Thank you for applying for the store associate position. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions to continue your application.
Okay.
This store is located in Orlando, where many of our customers prefer to speak Spanish. Would it be okay if we continue the next 2 questions in Spanish?
Yeah, that's fine.
Primera pregunta, ¿cómo ayudarías a un cliente que no puede encontrar un producto en la tienda?
Bueno, pues primero le preguntaría qué está buscando para entender qué necesita bien. Luego la acompañaría a donde está el lugar donde está el producto que quiere, o le demostraría opciones también.
Gracias.
Now, for those in the audience that caught that, you're probably thinking, this guy knows his stuff. He knows Spanish. Yeah, he seems pretty fluent. For those that are just looking at me and saying, huh? Or, he talked too fast. I have no idea if that's Spanish. Could be, it could not be, who knows? Guess what? You and Cassie no longer have to think or guess. The agent's gonna give me that green checkbox, and back to Kat, she's gonna be widely equipped to know that I speak Spanish.
So as you can see, that specific agent didn't just detect the language, it validated it, the fluency, and logged it. That's a green checkbox. That's Casey knowing with confidence that this candidate speaks Spanish. There's no guesswork, there's no assuming, no awkward moment in an interview 2 weeks from now where you follow up with a English email or anything in between. This isn't just about the language Spanish or any language in that sense. It's about every market. It's about high volume hiring in Miami, Houston, Los Angeles. You're no longer leaving candidates behind because your screening process only speaks one language. You are making the best experience for every single one of your candidates. Okay, so you just saw a voice agent handle the candidate side of the house. Now let's flip the tables and see what it looks like for the hiring manager. Close your eyes and picture this. I'm kidding, don't close your eyes. This is a video. It's Friday afternoon. There is a critical ICU nurse position that just got approved in Dallas, Pennsylvania. I'm kidding. No one lives in Dallas, Pennsylvania. Dallas, Texas. Now there's already a shortage of candidates and everyone is under pressure. Every day that this role remains unfilled means another nurse is stretched thin. And when you're working in healthcare, that is never an ideal scenario. The clock is ticking and the rec needs to be posted by noon on Saturday in order to have someone in the process by Monday. You're the hiring manager. You need an ICU nurse lead. You've just worked 12 hours and sitting down to do a 30-minute intake meeting is not what's going to happen on a Friday afternoon. You're exhausted. And honestly, you shouldn't have to do that. So let's take a look at what the process should be and will be in the future for you.
We've talked about the brain of the platform. Now let's see in action at the speed of life. Let's continue the healthcare use case and the ICU nurse position that is critical for the company's growth strategy. And let's look at one hypersell, the critical shortage in the Dallas market. We all get it. There is a general shortage for this role in the United States. There's a lot of competition in Dallas, so shortage is amplified. This means another patient waiting, another nurse stretched to the brink of burnout, and care at risk. What's the solution? Here, the orchestration engine for shortage markets in healthcare has been optimized around two imperatives: urgency and compliance. The moment the ICU nurse position in Dallas enters the system, it applies three policies. The clinical posting policy says that every clinical role must be posted within 24 hours of requisition approval. The compliance policy says that any job posted for a licensed clinical role must include the required license disclosure and the verification requirements. And the market urgency policy says skip second interview if the first round evaluation is greater than 4 out of 5 and the candidate has more than 5 years of experience. Now, a new ICU nurse position just got approved on a Friday afternoon. The moment the position hits the system, the orchestration engine in the work ops platform gets to work. This rec needs to be posted by noon on Saturday. Meet Sarah, the hiring manager and lead ICU nurse. She's 12 hours into her shift, still moving between patients. She doesn't have time for another phone call, a form, or a meeting on her calendar. In a typical intake process, the recruiter would schedule a 30-minute call 3 days out, if we're lucky. But the orchestration engine has made a different call, and it automatically has deployed the voice intake agent. The intake agent has analyzed the last 50 intakes for this exact cardiac unit. The agent also understands the types of hires that Sarah has made in the past. Now, the agent needs to clarify just 3 things about the role instead of a recruiter-led 30-minute intake meeting in person with Sarah. Sarah gets a text as she's walking to the parking lot. Your ICU role has been approved. Call today for a quick 5-minute intake. She taps the number on her phone. Let's see what happens.
About a minute to confirm a few details for the new ICU role.
Of course, but I'm driving home right now.
Perfect. I'll keep this quick. What shift are we trying to fill?
I initially needed a daytime shift, but we just had someone else put in their notice, so the urgent need right now is night shifts.
Got it. Night shift. I'm seeing your last few hires for this unit required ventilator weaning experience. Is that still the critical skill?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. I'll make sure ventilator weaning experience is listed as a requirement. When do you need them to start?
I'd like to get someone in place by St. Patrick's Day. It is always nuts in the ICU then.
March 17th is only about a week away. That may be too soon to realistically get someone started. Let's target April 1st instead. Would that work?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great. That's everything I need. I'm updating the role with night shift, ventilator weaning experience, starting April 1st. Drive safe, Sarah.
The moment Sarah hangs up, the agent instantly parses the conversation. You heard it ask about the specialization, the shift type, and the start date. It detects that this is a biometric access role in Texas, so it sends it straight to the compliance agent. By the time Mike, the recruiter, gets to review the approved rec, the intake is already done, the summary has been sent to him, and the job description has already been analyzed.
All right, so we've seen from Steve the hiring manager side of things. We saw the candidate side of things. Now let's look at it from an employee perspective, because employees are ultimately who we want to keep in the business for as long as possible. This next example is going to show you how they can interact with the voice agent on a daily basis or even in a time of need. Here we go.
So now, in real life, we are midweek, and who would guess it, John can't make his shift. So instead of texting coworkers or calling his supervisors, he opens the app and requests a swap. Now the shift planning agent is validating and recommending available coworkers. John simply select one, request a shift swap, and it will be instantly approved once the coworker accepts. But we also know that life can happen. What is if John has a family emergency? We all have been there. All he has to do is making a phone call. So let's listen in.
This is Alex from Midwest Industrial. How can I help you today?
Hey, I have a family emergency and I can't make my shift.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'll help you take care of it right away. Could you please provide your full name and employee ID for verification?
Yeah, my name is John Wayne and my ID is 892567.
Thank you, John. I see you're scheduled on the forklift operations team on line 2, and your supervisor is Marcela Ruiz, correct?
That's correct.
Got it. I've already notified Marcela and identified 2 trained forklift operators who may be available to cover your shift. John, please go ahead and take care of your emergency. I'll coordinate the shift coverage and send you a confirmation by text shortly. Does that work for you?
That works perfectly for me. Thank you so much. So that was easy. So within seconds, it identified, qualified, certified replacements, checked compliance and overtime, notified the manager, and sent the confirmation. All fully locked. There's no panic or chaos. And most importantly, the shift is covered. So now moving forward, John received his shift confirmation. And the system flags an upcoming certification expiration and clearly explains the operational impact if it expires. So the system doesn't wait for an audit. It automatically schedules renewal trainings, suggests available sessions, and even serves up microlearning on the spot. This enables growth. Clear, actionable, and personalized. But what happens when someone decides to leave the organization? Moving forward, the exit interview is no longer just a checkbox. An AI agent conducts a structured conversational exit interview, capturing real insights, identifying patterns across location, and feeding intelligence back into workforce planning. This is no longer just workforce management. It's intelligent frontline talent management, from shift coverage to skill growth, to lifecycle intelligence.
So now we've seen all 3 voice agent demos from Phenom. We're going to take a much deeper dive at these on April 22nd for the HR Innovation Showcase. But I want to point one thing out very clearly. We saw the candidate, which is who most people imagine interacting with voice agent. But we also saw the hiring manager doing an intake meeting. And then we additionally saw how this can impact employees, whether it's shift coverage or any other need that they may have. I think the most important aspect of this, it is human, whether it's in English, Spanish, or speaking the language of your particular organization. It allows people to speak in layman's terms in order to get the job done. And that's what is vital. It is curating the process for every single interview in your organization. And overall, it should help you save time and put more meaningful work back into it, specifically with the ICU nurse situation. I mean, I think that speaks for itself that you can get a job posted on Saturday when you realize you need coverage on Friday. All of this is super exciting stuff, and we are going to dive into the voice agents as well as so much more, like I mentioned, on April 22nd. But in the meantime, I hope everyone has a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. Thank you for those of you who attended Phenom. Hopefully this was a nice refresher course for you. And for those of you who didn't, shame on you. I'm kidding. We'll see you next year. I know life happens. You can head over to imphenom.com right now to save the date. It is going to be in April this year, so it gives you a little bit of extra time. But like I said, everyone have a safe, happy, and healthy weekend, and we cannot wait to see you next week for Talent Experience Live. Thanks so much.